is Marley Francois, his brother, currently with Wigan Athletic, but out with injury at the moment. It's his second appearance in Auckland colours after signing during the window, which is still open for a few more days. Finding Francois, Sakai up alongside him, a little stumble from the substitute, but he's back to his feet. Done well to get the cross in.
Well, the Wanderers
puts out.
The Wanderers players asking for a handball. So to the technical staff, as he stumbled, the ball did strike. It did appear to strike the hand of Francois.
Sakai's throw. It's Politic underneath it. Down by the strata. Sakai settling for another throw for the visitors. It's away by Brillante. And now Temolkovski looking to set his stamp on the game. And it's an intelligent ball too, and needed that run tracking all the way back from Gallegos. And now one back for the Wanderers by Pantazopoulos, and Paulson needs 2 bites at it. It had a fair bit of venom behind it.
Well, didn't it what? He stole the ball beautifully. And to the points made earlier, great if you've got the aggressive mindset to go for goal at the exclusion of a support player. You've got to make it count. He nearly did. He hit that beautifully, Pantazopoulos, and for Alex Paulson to be troubled, you know how well a ball has been hit. Hearts in mouths moment there for Steve Corica and the Auckland collection.
Alex Paulson, 7 clean sheets this season. His A-League record is extraordinary, by the way. 19 clean sheets in 39 senior appearances. Part of the reason why Bournemouth were keen on it. That's a loose one from Milanovic, and Brimmer steers it into the path here of his teammate, and surely Marley Francois. The Wanderers managed to scramble back and make the block once again. And Auckland denied for now. Sakai's ball in, but straight at Thomas this time. That goal has lived a bit of a charmed life in the second half.
Very, very. And the Wanderers fans will be wondering how Moreno was allowed to get to that ball. Thomas shepherding it wide. Clisby said no risk, except that there was a risk. And they needed to scramble the ball clear in the air. And that was a really near thing for Western Sydney.
Hammond shoved off the ball. Free kick. Approaching the last quarter of an hour. A game that has looked really anything but a 0-0 draw. This is how it would affect the ladder. Not much, in truth. Auckland would stay where they are, or they draw level with Adelaide on 28 points. They would remain in second on goals scored, as Adelaide have scored 31 to Auckland's 21, and the Wanderers would remain in 8th. All that could change. Kraev, not quite enough of that. Francois was back. Sakai. Francois. Shot off the ball by Kraev. Out wide by Temolkovski for Mata. By the way, what a moment for James Temolkovski last week, albeit in a 3-1 loss to the Mariners. Scores his first goal, assisted by none other than Juan Mata. That's a story for the grandchildren.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm sure, knowing the competitive nature of
to see how this plays out, because Tanakovsky is in there ahead of Paulson. There are two waiting in the middle. It's swept away, though, by Pineacre.
There's another ball from Juan Mata. As great a feeling as it was a good goal. The disappointment overcomes that, or trumps it, with the home loss and the flat performance from the Wanderers until those last 10 minutes. But you're right, Simon, the dust will settle and you'll have a wonderful video of a beautiful ball from one of the modern era's very, very good players. Highly regarded Juan Mata. He's played well here today.
Look at those numbers. 32 shots we've had, only 10 of those on target. And the fact that the score sheet remains blank is certainly not for the want of trying. Moreno just losing out to Pantazopoulos, who's had a pretty good game at the back for Western Sydney Wanderers. There's the commentator's curse. Sorry, Anthony. Just a little break here while Clisby gets some attention. Pelikanos and Mohamed Altai being readied for the Wanderers. It's going to be the Wanderers' debut for Mohamed Altai, freshly re-signed for the club from Wellington Phoenix. Spent the earliest part of his A-League career, Altai, with the Wanderers, but didn't make a first-team appearance. Tonight might just be the night, 4 years after he left. There's the Wanderers' next engagement, away to Brisbane on Friday. You'll see that game live, of course, on Paramount Plus. As mentioned earlier, their road form has been pretty good. It's here that they've had the problems. I think Pelikanos has been told to go and sit down for the moment. Jared Carluccio has been summoned instead. In fact, it's going to be a triple change. Or is it? Who knows? They're playing musical chairs there on the Wanderers technical zone.
Well, I guess a lot of it's going to depend on what's happening with Jack Clisby. He's looking to retake the field on the far side.
Well, Juan Mata's afternoon is done. He's going to be replaced by Dean Pelikanos. And it's a double change in midfield with Oscar Priestman giving way for Mohamed Altai.
MMA asking Juan Mata as he left the field if he could exchange shirts in the sheds afterwards. Priorities, Keith, priorities. 3 points to be won here.
Surely that shirt's got to go to Max Mata, hasn't it? Auckland going to be the second New Zealand team involved in a goalless draw this weekend. Wellington and the Mariners finishing all square yesterday. And the score sheet being troubled. Just over 10 minutes or so, plus stoppages to change all that. Here's Altai. And of course, the fully fledged Iraqi international with 3 caps. And hoping to go to the World Cup in North America in 12 months' time. Actually, more closer to 18 months. Comes around quick, though, doesn't it? Pantazopoulos' hopeful ball forward. Headed out by De Vries. by Aidan Hammond. Jumping into Gallegos, rather. Steve Corica's team back in Auckland on the 1st of February for the next game, which is at home to MacArthur. And they're back on the road to face Western United before the third and potentially final instalment this season of the New Zealand derby against Wellington. And we're at that time of the afternoon when the Poznan takes place with 10 minutes to go. Hammond driving through what seemed like a non-existent gap. And still going, Aidan Hammond. Oh, and there are appeals for handball there. 2 or 3 Wanderers players went up simultaneously. The AR will be looking at that, no doubt. Meantime, we'll continue with a Pantazopoulos throw. Towards Temakovsky, but out by De Vries as far as Clisby. No way through.
Excellent burst by Moreno.
Well, the arms were in what they call a natural position, close to the body. Certainly struck the arm of Verstraete. I don't really think the penalty was going to be awarded for that. Throw. Western Sydney haven't been kept scoreless in an A-League match since they lost 7-0 to Melbourne City at the back end of last season. 19 consecutive games on the scoreboard. At times this afternoon it's looked more like Auckland would. All-important first goal, but here's Bozidar Kraev going to blast one from just outside the box.
Referee Sean Evans has seen a deflection of Tommy Smith. Kraev has worked really hard this afternoon. Difficult conditions. Well, he must have snickometer in his pocket, Sean Evans, to have picked that.
Unless he's blown for a foul. Bozidar Kraev still flat on the floor. Certainly didn't touch Tommy Smith, at least not from our vantage point. No. He's given a corner. Even the Wanderers players seem confused because they've thrown the ball to the wrong side of the ground.
Well, a break for the Wanderers. See if they can capitalise.
Well, Auckland will be spewing if this leads to a goal. Again, there's plenty of push and shove, jostling for position. Now could be fatal to either team's hopes if they concede. Temakovsky hitting in the middle for Clisby's delivery, but there's an infringement. Kraev, I think.
That's the call. This is Bonateg.
Yeah, he's not at fault. I think Kraev might have been pinged, but Always so difficult to tell when there's so much going on in that penalty area. Alan Stadgy with the double two-pot. Going to make a double change late on here. You see Jonty Bidwa on for just his second appearance. Also going to see Cam Howison. Ian O'Mai and Jake Brimmer are the numbers called. Two players wander off behind the Wanderers' goal. Two new boys have got just over 5 minutes to try and make their mark. Perhaps grab all 3 points for the visitors. Sakai's long launch again, and it's gone all the way through to Lawrence Thomas, who I'm sure wasn't expecting to be gathering the ball. Maybe a slight touch off an Auckland player.
Yeah, it was the sub. Straight off the bench.
It's a game that's deserved a goal, Harps, but it's increasingly unlikely that we might get one. Sakai, Gallegos, Smith square for Pineacre. Sakai is behind Bidwa. Brillante. Hammond. Good spin by Aidan Hammond. Almost a very good retrieval. An awkward pass by James Temelkovski, who worked ever so hard to try and keep that one going.
Yeah, and then to pressure De Vries to win the throw-in. So good endeavour from Temelkovski.
Tay. Gallicanos. 2 minutes of the regulation 90 left. Who'd be the happier of the two coaches with a point if it ends up this way?
Very, very good question. Because I'd say after the difficulties in the first half for the Wanderers, Stajic would be happy, but I think with the chances they've had to score and playing at home, I think he'll be the more irritable of the two coaches.
Still time for all that to change. Not too much of it though. We understand there's going to be 5 additional minutes at the end. To see if that is confirmed in a moment or two. Bonatic. I guess the two goalkeepers would be pretty happy with clean sheets. It'll be Alex Paulson's 8th of the season, and just Lawrence Thomas's 2nd. Milanovic is offside meantime. Make their final change of the night. They held the wrong number up. And Kersey having a problem with the electronic scoreboard. Simmons is ready to come on. Ozidar Kraev wanders off on the far side. Initially, they held up the number of Anthony Pantazopoulos, who seemed pretty eager to come off. And those 5 additional minutes are confirmed. It's a pretty rudimentary challenge from Pantazopoulos on Francois. Auckland have scored 6 goals this season in the 84th minute or later. These goals worth a whopping 8 points to them. Made a habit of injury time goals. They got one, of course, after 100 minutes in Adelaide during the week. And got potential one-scoring situation here. Breeze's free kick. Smith at the back post and the overhead. Looked spectacular, but it wasn't accurate on Marley Francois.
Well, having quote-unquote won the free kick, Francois on the edge of the box goes for the overhead. Couldn't control it. Would have been quite the moment for him on the Harvey Norman replay. Would have got a few replays if he pulled that one off.
Still not sure would have beaten Jordan Lawton's. Here come the Wanderers, looking to make a late bid for all 3 points, and Altay was being held back by Gallegos, who accepts the yellow card without question. Didn't really have much choice, I don't think.
No, but in the end, again, with the defence broken and retreating, I think Mohamed Altay would have been better served moving that ball on. The best defence in the league now has a chance to set themselves from the set piece.
4th yellow card of the season for Gallegos, puts him on the brink of a suspension. Importantly for Steve Corica's team, they are on red alert from this free kick. Pantazopoulos potentially lining this one up. No wonder. Evans just insisting that Nader Moreno drops the required 10 metres. Let's put him on trust. He hasn't put a little line of foam there. There goes Pantazopoulos. Fancied he was going to have a cracking goal. Pretty weak effort in the end. Good win in the air by Bonatic, and a good stretch as well to prevent the ball from getting through on the follow-up. Away from Tamelkovski though. Auckland will go again. It's been a good game, Harps, and you can't help but feel as though you've been a bit cheated by not seeing a goal or two, because I think it's a game that's deserved it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. Both teams have had some good sights at goal, they've played some good football, just lacked that moment or that quality to put their opponent away.
Dawson having hurry. De Vries towards Howison. It's an intelligent little glance back, looking for that run of his teammate. Pelicanos losing out in midfield. Is there a late chance here for Auckland? Maybe Moreno. It's in! With 30 seconds to go, the super sub has done it again. And Auckland are going to go home with the 3 points. A little bit of help off the crossbar, I think, as well. But Steve Corica doesn't care. We've had to wait 94.5 minutes but Nader Moreno looks as though he's settled this one.
Harvey Norman replay has been great off the bench. Nader Moreno. And one telling chance, and he takes it, the Colombian. The Wanderers players scrambling, and as the ball thunders off the underside of the bar and into the goal to settle this one, in unison the Wanderers players collapse to the ground. He's been excellent off the bench, really troublesome for the Wanderers, and it's the coup de grace for the Colombian here in Parramatta.
And for the second time in a week, Steve Corica is punching the air in delight, deep into stoppage time. They equalised against Adelaide in the 100th minute at Coopers. Not quite that late here, but in the context of the game, virtually the last kick. And Alan Stajic cannot quite believe it. Stumbled by Hammond. Is there time left for one chance for the Wanderers? Pantasopoulos losing out to Francois, who just needs to head for the hills, really. Or the corner, one of the two. And we're into the 7th minute of stoppage time. Howison. Gallegos. Just a bit of keep ball will surely do for the Black Knights. And there we go, victory confirmed for the visitors. Auckland march on, back to the top of the A-League they go, thanks to that late strike from Nader Moreno. They have done it again in stoppage time, as they inflict a 3rd consecutive defeat here at CommBank for the Western Sydney Wanderers. It was a game that seemed destined to end goalless. But as they've done so often this season, Auckland would not give up the ghost, and they got their rewards. No team from New Zealand has ever won a trophy in the Australian National Leagues, but Steve Corica's outfit looked well placed to end that drought. Another clean sheet for Alex Paulson, and conversely CommBank becoming something of a graveyard rather than a fortress for the Wanderers, who remain well off the pace. Full time here in Parramatta, Western Sydney Wanderers 0, Auckland FC 1.